Okay? And then many of the messages from Aristotle and the other beings are all about becoming still, becoming quiet, meditating, making sure you make the time daily to do this. This was reiterated many times in different ways. And so Aristotle said, these are his words, "Take time daily for a period of inner contemplation, for it is from within much shall flourish. Come forth and shine the light for others to follow." The practice of turning inward. Your thoughts help to enforce and perpetuate into the reality of the physical. Simply turn inward in those moments of discomfort and agony to be released from the ties of your emotion. Learn melancholy is a result of your own perceptions, limited in range and scope. So you can say these are very similar to Eckhart Tolle or Abraham Hicks, The Power of Your Thoughts. It's along those lines. And, here he shares, if you turn inward when you really feel emotionally unbalanced, that's going to help you. When you take that moment to become still and quiet. So these are practical techniques you could apply in the moment, to help yourself. And he said, melancholy is a result of your own perceptions. So if you're feeling down and out and depressed or anxiety, it's our own perceptions. Okay, reminding us, again, the power of our thought. And also, he espoused inner stillness in quite a few of these messages. It was a recurring theme. And he says, take time to be still. In your stillness, much will be revealed. In addition, this is an important time for your guides and teachers to help attune your vibration to prepare you for your next state of advancement. So when you tune in, when you go in, this is an opportunity for your spiritual team to work on you, tweak you, retune you, recalibrate you. So think of it in that way. Go, if you're reluctant to go into meditation or inner stillness, look at it as a tune-up for yourself. And that's what I do. And they need you to be, let's say, not involved in the physical. Your guys need you to be down, which means not involved in the physical world, in a relaxed state, for them to work with you properly, right? Okay? So this is like very valuable, okay? And then I love this one. This is so simple, and I know this is an oldie, but it's a goodie. Get to know yourself, okay? Sense who you are. Become more familiar with yourself. Get to know yourself. Do you know who you are? It is in the moments of quietness and with gratitude you shall discover your true purpose and find design. Feel this vibration. Sometimes we go about our lives on autopilot. And do you really know who you are, what you desire? That requires pausing, taking time to be still, getting to know yourself. So simple. And then you get to know your triggers and your reactions, and you become more self-aware. And then he has a really good, another practical exercise, how to become more aware. Learn to become more aware of your emotions, how they arise and why they surface. What are the circumstances leading to the disruption of your emotional state and loss of balance? This will reveal those aspects of yourself you have hidden, suppressed, and are not ready to acknowledge consciously and willingly. So whenever you are in your daily life and you are at unease or you don't feel balanced, take the time then to pause and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What am I feeling? What triggered it? Because this reveals what's motivating you subconsciously. Your subconscious triggers. It could be things from childhood that you suppressed that are not serving you well. Okay? So this exercise will help to create self-healing within yourself. So powerful, right? Very simple, but practical, right? If you could just remember to pause and look within when you feel at unease or unbalanced or when you're angry. When I do it whenever I'm not at peace. As soon as I don't feel at peace, I'm like, right away, okay, what was it? and I become like a detective. What was it that just turned you, and it's important for you to catch it in the moment that it happens. Because you channel the message where if you don't address it, if you pretend it's not there, if you suppress it, it languishes. And it causes problems in your energetic system. And when you have trouble in your energetic system, like your chakras, your energy field, over time, they may result in physical ailments. So please be aware of your emotional state of mind, for your physical health, because you don't want it to manifest physically, okay? And I like this one because it's so, I believe it's the way we've been indoctrinated, and we've been brought up for many people in the Western civilization, we're always looking out into the world and we're forgetting to come back in, right? We're so physical oriented and exterior driven, because that's the way our eyes look, don't we? Our eyes are always looking out and not looking back in, right? Could you imagine if you could do that? I mean, you would be probably perfect then, because you'd always be seeing yourself. Okay, so he says a practical exercise is sensing your own vibration. You can feel your own vibration. Become familiar with it. This type of sensing is part of the New Age. Many shall become more aware of their energetic state. In doing so, you can better manage your relationships and your communications with each other. You probably notice it, probably yourselves, you become more empathic. Have you guys noticed you've become more sensitive? You become more acute? But that's because you're becoming more aware of energy. And this is a sign of the times that we're in. Okay? And more people are going to have these experiences. So sense your own vibration and see what you're vibrating at. Okay? And I love this one. And you may have, I'm sure some of you are familiar with this, the power of your heart. Okay? But again, I feel like sometimes it's our indoctrination where we're very cerebral. We're very in our rational, mental area. And we're not really, I believe, we're not really trained to come from here, right? So he says, let your heart be the well of your thoughts. From this you shall draw needed sustenance for your well-being. What you are clearly lacking in your thoughts will be revealed to you. All shall come in due time. So let your heart be the well of your thoughts. Learn to tell time by the beating of your heart. This is your true essence and the very caliber of your design. It is your primary purpose to be fearless and march forward with courageousness and bravery. Unto you this will come. And so he has an exercise to become more aware of your heart space. And actually, it was an exercise that I channeled from, I forgot what beings. And I shared it on my Facebook. But there's an exercise where I channeled where become aware during the day of your heart space and your heart. Do this thing where you just stop and pause and actually feel your heart area. And if you have trouble feeling your heart area because maybe you never connected to yourself in that way, just take your hand, place it on your heart. And this will help you to feel that core, that central area. Do that to connect with your heart space. So during the time, regularly, and you can just use your intention. I'm connecting with my heart space, and feel your heart space. And if you have trouble feeling it, put your hand there. Or if you can feel it energetically, if you're adept in that way, if you're good at moving energy, you can feel your heart space area. And by creating that channel to your heart space, by doing this a few times a day, you create this channel from the cerebral area to the heart. And so when you engage in your day-to-day activities, you will actually have your heart will be like a motivator. Do you understand? Because you've connected to it, you've hooked it up now, But that takes the practice of connecting to your heart space. And if you're not used to doing that, you might have to physically put your heart there and go to that space for a few seconds to create that channel between the heart and the head. And then just one more, another one is the power of breath. And I know this is such a what's that term the Theosophical Society uses for metaphysical knowledge? Oh, I forgot what that term was. It's like such a deep, such an oldie that way. He talks about the power of breath. Take deep breaths throughout the day. This will allow the new thought forms that are being delivered to the Earth's air system of everlasting peace, love, and security permeate all aspects of your physical and energy body. This is a tool given to all human beings at this time. I've received channeled messages where the beings are delivering higher level thought forms into the air, also into the water, to help us all ascend, to help us all evolve, to help us all awaken. And so when you take deep breaths, you're actually breathing in those higher evolutionary thought forms for your well-being. So your breathing is so much more than just the physical act of getting oxygen. It's about having those thought forms permeate your system. And so when what I try to do is once or twice a day, I try to take a few deep breaths, and I hold the intention of letting those higher level thought forms come into my system, because I know they're in the air. So this is a form of self-healing that you can use, that's available to you with every breath. He calls it a tool. And then he also talks about gratitude, right? So such a powerful, high vibrational teaching. Be in the vibration of gratitude and watch your life change. Your angels work with you consistently to remind you of what you have to be grateful for. It is all around and within you. It is in your sound, your internal vibration, your very being, and your prime essence. Be grateful. In this quietness of this simplicity, you will fully acknowledge the beauty in which you have been created. Gratitude is a valuable tool for enlightenment. Gratitude will help carry you safely to shore in the storms of your turmoil. It is always available to you and only a thought away. Reach for this in your moments of distress and despair. This is your lifeline.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did anyone have any other questions or? Yeah. Okay. Sure.
One of the things that, you know, as you said, a lot of what he said we've read other places, but he rephrases it so that maybe just a little added spark of inspiration. But
Yes.
when he kept referring to New Age, and I knew that we had moved into the age of Aquarius, and I couldn't remember the age that the name of the age we had just moved out of. So I went to Wikipedia, and I found that we had just moved out of the Piscean age.
Yeah.
And we're in the age of Aquarius. What was interesting was in Wikipedia, they listed, authors from like the mid-1800s going forward to today about how the age of Aquarius was just going to be horrible and just death and destruction and all this. But the way that Aristotle talks about it, it's so much more positive in the sense that, yes, there's going to be a lot of change, but it's a new age. It's a great day. It's a wonderful age of evolution and empowerment and all this.
Right.
So it was such a novel look. It's the same coin, but there's a positive, very good way of looking at it, and there's the other way of looking at it, saying, all this change and we're all gonna die. The Eeyore type of way of looking at something.
I know. That was his goal. And he said in the book, I am here to provide stability. He's here to stabilize the world so people don't get all helter-skelter.
That's big.
Yeah, and he's like, so I think that was his edict from his bosses up there, to provide these words to stabilize us so we don't get crazy and to balance us. So that's a primary motive for this book, for stabilization of human beings.
Especially with what we're going through now, with the fears arising in everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And
before something new can manifest, the old has to die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't have both going on.
I know, it's a major transition, it's a major shift. I mean, he called it a revolution.
Yes.
I mean, it's a huge, huge shift. And I'm just gonna share something, and that that I'm the message deliverer, because one of the reasons why a lot of people, some people are upset right now, is with that whole terrorist thing, and the threat of ISIS and all that, personal safety. And it's so funny that I'm the channeler, because both my parents are Muslim, and I come from a Turkish background, and here I am. I'm an offset to some of the fear that's being created by these other extremist groups.
They picked right.
So they picked me. Do you see how they work? There's always different motives, and so they picked me, a Turkish woman, Muslim background, to deliver these inspirational messages at the time when the world is so in fear of like Muslim extremists.
That's
You
the
know where it
media.
has to go, Katie.
What?
You know where it has to go.
Yeah,
That's a created fear. That's a media created.
I know, and I just know, you're just aware that that's out there, and but I'm just like, oh my God, now I know why I have this job now, and why this book came out in September, right?
Something higher is at work here.
Yeah, isn't that if you think about it, what a beautiful interlocking, how the puzzle comes together like that. But thank you for sharing that, Shed. It's such a good point. And I know there's other channelers that channel other types of information. And to be honest with you, I usually don't get that type of information. And I know that's because it's not my function in this incarnation. I'm supposed to deliver these type of words. I've heard that so many times. Words of faith, trust, inspiration, and hope. That's my role. And so I don't get the other spectrum of channel information.
One of my grandkids put on a paper, the end is just the start.
That's good.
So true,
Old
so
souls.
true.
Yeah.
I do encourage you to download the book. It's free. It's available in many reading formats, even in PDF. It's available like 8 or 9 reading formats. So even if you don't have a reader, you could still download it.
That's a work
Oh,
right
thank
there.
you. I'm so glad you read it. I hope it was helpful to you. Oh, good. Thank you. It's kind of an easy read. It's not too long, right?
Well, I digested it. I took my time.
Yeah.
It's very reassuring.
Oh, good.
So,
And where do we go to review it?
Oh, smashwords.com.
On the blackboard.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you could leave a review, I would really love that, because the reviews really help get the book promoted. Even just a few words, great, nice, whatever, But if you go to smashwords.com and choose, find my book on Smashwords, Aristotle, and then there's a place to leave a review. I would really appreciate that if you have some time. Thank you.
How long will you be in Florida?
Till January 31st, and then I'm going back February 1st. To Seattle. I spent 3 weeks in Seattle, 1 week in Florida, just for the next few months. But I was home for Christmas for 2 months, so I had a little bit of a break. My husband let me do that. All right. Well, thank you so much. Would you mind if we took a photo, a group photo? Does people have time for that?
Sure.
All right. Thank you. I would love